Hey guys, how's it going? In today's video, I'll just be walking you through a couple of automations that we implement for all of our clients, which allow them to have a conversion rate of upwards of 70%. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. First automation I want to show you is the automation we run as soon as our client gets a lead. And obviously we run Facebook ads for our clients. And that is very, very useless in terms of the leads that we get, unless we have a flow that automatically engages them and continues to attempt to engage them as time goes by. So as you might see, obviously we have the notifications as soon as they come in, because although the flow is great, it is pretty much useless unless we're able to activate them as a human as well, right? Automation is great, but humans make it better. So you can see, first of all, it gets added to a pipeline, but then everyone who needs to be notified of this, they get notified. And we keep our notifications incredibly lean just because you don't want to have any fluff. You don't want anything to distract you from what you're actually going to do. So as soon as a lead comes in, our people know the name and who's to call. And if there's any additional information that they need, obviously we're able to provide that for them as well. But the two most important ones are obviously the name and the phone number, which allows them to call and speak to the right person, but also get a hold of what they actually want and obviously be able to help them from there. So um, as they call, we also send an automation just less than a minute in, because stats show that after a minute, the chances of you closing an actual person reduces by 80%. And if I just use that as an example, let's say you want a haircut and you're really busy and you have a really important event. You're going to call the best barber or the best hairdresser, let's call it. If they don't pick up, you're going to call the next one and the next one and the next one until you find someone who picks up and can do what you want them to do. At the point in which the first one calls you back, it might already be too late. So our clients never have to go through that because number one, we really hammer it in that they need to call them as soon as they come in. And that's because of the example I said. But whilst they're calling, or if they fail to call for whatever reason, we have an automation going out less than a minute in, right? And the first one is just an email basically saying like, hey, how's it going? Thank you for showing interest. How is it that we can help you? Like, it's always a question so that it engages them and gets them to reply to what we have to say. After that, we wait 30 seconds just because if you send an email and an SMS at the same time, obviously that's AI, they know this, and they're not fools. So we had to make it a little bit more human because as you send an email, it takes time to actually type out a message. So we have the SMS here. And it's kind of a repeat of the same message, but it's a little bit more, a bit less formal to make it basically suit the messaging style. And I would say this, a lot of companies just absolutely sleep on SMS, even though most of our replies come from SMS because it's so, so good. Just imagine what you're more likely to reply to. If you get an SMS, it feels a lot more personal. And a lot of the times it comes from people that you already know. An email, you expect it to be cold emails, you expect it to be junk, or a million other things. But SMS, you get that a lot less, you're more likely to reply to it. After that, obviously, sometimes when you message them, they might be, who knows, in the toilet, right? Then they're not going to want to speak to you then or call or accept a call then. But 96 minutes later, we just found to be the sweet spot. We send another one, just kind of seeing if they did get the message. We like to keep this very informal. Just again, you want it to be as human as possible. If you have a very serious like, hello, did you get my message? Would love to help you. That's great, but it's also what every other company is going to be saying. So we keep it very, very relaxed, if you want to call it that. So, hey, did my last text go through? My phone's been buggy lately. Now, after that, we don't bother them for the day, although our people are still calling them, trying to get them engaged at different times of the day. And then after that, we wait a day, and then that's when you send a second round of emails and SMS. This one here just doesn't have much of a spread, but it's essentially just reminding them of the offer, and the same is true for the SMS. Now, what you might see here is obviously I don't want to give everything away since all of our clients use it. We have a flow of 8 different touch points. And the reason for that is, or 7 different touch points, my apologies. But the reason why that is because it comes from a genuine place of care. The way that we like to phrase it to our clients is anyone who comes into the pipeline from an ad, they have a huge issue. And we are the only people in this universe that can solve it, right? Let's say they need insulation. That means that they're in a home that is too hot or too cold. They could have kids in there, maybe newborns or whatever, and bit extreme, but their lives could depend on it. Or their kids could literally be crying day in and day out because we haven't made an effort to solve the problem just yet. So when they're coming to us, they're in huge pain and we have to solve it. So when we're reaching out to them as many times as we are, that is really what sets us apart from other companies, because people know that we genuinely care. And these messages aren't just basically bring your money and put it in my pockets. No, it's literally saying like, how can we help? How can we make sure that you no longer have this issue? And when we call them ourselves, when we warm call them, it comes from that place as well. So it's really important to angle it in a way that, like I said, where there's care, because any other approach would seem salesy and to some people sleazy. Now, the more human you can make a business, the more you're going to sell. It's literally that simple. And the sole reason is people buy from people. People don't like to buy from businesses, especially now that everyone thinks that a business is just trying to profit off them. So the more you humanize yourself, the better conversion you have. Now, just quickly moving on to another automation that we use, and that is the post estimate follow up. So let's say one of our clients have given a quote, and now we just need to make sure that we close the deal. This was very, very good for us until we started teaching our clients how to do a one visit close or a two visit close at best. So it kind of removed the need for this as we way shortened the sales cycle. But before, it was definitely a really, really good automation to have in your back pocket, right? So since all of the clients bring in their leads into our CRM and our pipelines, we make it so if they've been added to the got estimate follow up pipeline, then this automation starts. So first of all, after this happens, there's a 30-minute wait time, just so it's like not too pushy. And then we send an email over. I would just expand this for you to read it. But essentially, it's just to reassure them that we are the right person. We are here to answer any questions. Any additional information that you need, we are obviously here for you. Now, we wait a minute, like I said, for the last automation. Can't make it as AI and just automatic. So we have to wait a minute just to make it seem a lot more human. This kind of just reassures them of the message that we sent via email as well. But obviously, some people see email, some people see SMS. We need to make sure that we target both. Now, after that, we're going to wait 2 days because if you're in the construction niche, sometimes it is the case where people like to just be absolute certain of the decision that they're going to make. So they may go to a competitor or just get different bids for different prices, right? So 2 days later, we hit them with an SMS, which is just to kind of put us at the forefront of their minds again. It's nothing too complex. It's quite simple, but again, just always, always, always reassuring. Like I said about the last automation, it always comes from a place of care. Now we wait another 2 days. I don't mind sharing this one. Like I said, we no longer use this just because we found a better way. And again, just touching base, as they get a lot of bids in or as the project progresses, if it is a new construction, then we just have to continuously remind them, sorry, that we are still here and we are good to go. And then after on day 7, we send the last one, just making sure that we are still there. And if this is something that they don't want to pursue, we give them the option there. Essentially, that is it for the post SM follow up. We don't like to make this one too complex because it doesn't need to be. Not all automations need to be a million steps long. Sometimes it can just be very simple, just like this, just a simple workflow with a few reminders. Obviously, reminding people is very great because think about yourself. You're a very, very busy man or woman and you have a lot going on. So even just a small email or SMS, just bringing you to the forefront of someone's mind is so, so, so helpful. Now, on to the last automation. The last automation I want to walk you through is our nurture campaign. So essentially, let's say we're talking about the home improvement niche. If you've engaged them in any way, gone to see them in person, given them a quote, or they just didn't buy or any of the sort, then obviously there is still ways to convert them. Like there is no such thing as a dead lead, and we hammer that in with all of our clients as well. Just because if they don't need it now, they may need it in the future, or sometimes life gets in the way. It may be that they don't have money, maybe that they're traveling for a few months, so they're unable to do it now, or literally a million other reasons. So there is always a way to convert them, and we just try our absolute best. Just going back to the point that I made earlier, just again coming from a place of care, you're probably tired of hearing that word. No, but also just understanding that it would be a disservice if we didn't try our absolute best. So I'll just keep this one quite simple since the video is kind of stretching out. This is an automation that stretches out through around 6 weeks, right? Although it seems like a lot, they are spread out between 2 weeks each, right? And let me just move my face to the left. It starts with an SMS. Like I said, coming from a place of care, just saying that we genuinely want to help. So even as you can see, was just thinking about our last conversation. I want to check if you completed that home project, but if you're still working, right? And we're not saying like, look, we're going to do this for you and you should come with us. We're just saying we're here to provide any guidance, any information, or anything that they need. Then we wait another 2 weeks and send them an email with a template that we have. And just using the example of home improvement, it's essentially just let you give a read or pause it if you want to read actually, but always, always, always coming from a place of care. Everyone needs some love. Now we just have a load of 2 weeks gaps, and then just coming across again. Number one, just bringing them to the forefront of their mind, or just trying to re-engage them by trying to ask questions, by trying to basically contact them and pique some interest in any shape or form. So some of them are quite simple, some of them may feel repetitive, but the point isn't to be whole like unique to a different level. But the point is to just look, our name is up there again. So whether they're getting quotes or they haven't made a decision, or like I said, a million other reasons, we are still here. So just showing another one. Obviously, all of this you can just pause and read, but always trying to get them to, after a certain time, always trying to get them to take action, whether that's to reply to us, whether that's to book a call, whether that's to literally give us a call as well. So essentially, after 6 months, we end it here because after 6 months, guys, we generally try our best, and we are okay with letting them go. Maybe they've already made a project, maybe they don't need it, but at this point, after 6 months of trying, I think we genuinely exhausted our options. So, if you do want to know any more about this, feel free to just DM me or ask any questions here. I'm more than happy to reply. Obviously, our channel and our oh, the camera went a bit weird. But obviously, our channel, you're able to comment, you're able to see on our Instagram. And if you want to work with us in the future, just check out our amplifyplus.io page and book in a call with us. You're going to be speaking to me, Akil, or someone on my team, and we'll be looking to see how we can come into your business and scale it up or grow it, or whatever it is that you're struggling at the moment. But without further ado, thank you very much.